All right, welcome to episode numero uno of Message Influencing Change. I am extremely honored to be your host, Coach L, and even more blessed and excited to be in the room with one of my mentors and my co-host, Mr. Pastor Garrick. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm so excited to be here today.
And of course, behind the camera, in our third man today is Mr. Ray, who always is behind our media shots. Ray, say what's up to everybody, man.
What it do?
There he is, man. So thank each and every single one of you for tuning in today. Pastor Garrick, we've been waiting for this, right? We've been waiting to really dig in and talk about some stuff.
Yes.
So if you wouldn't mind starting us off with some words, you know, we are in this pandemic, we're on lockdown right now. Let's you know, as individuals, we want to hear, and at times we want others to know that you know, they're not alone. We want to feel like we're not alone. So hit us off with some words to start this first episode off.
Well, I think what came to mind, what comes to mind to me a lot is this a setback or is this a setup? It's all how we look at it. I mean, I caught myself looking at it as a setback, you know, locking my doors, loading my gun, and it's like, what am I doing? You know, and I could choose to live in fear or just live in the day, live in the life, live in the moment. So a matter of fact, now that I think about what's going on nowadays, it's a moment by moment thing. And I've heard somebody say, I can't wait to get back to normal. Well, maybe we don't need to get back to normal.
And what is normal?
Exactly.
Right?
What is normal?
Yeah.
A lot of people are thinking about their faith today. They're thinking about, obviously, their money, but what is normal? Sometimes, you know, we need to readjust our lives. I heard you say it before. It's like we make things happen. And I think we just got to take a look at this and make this happen. I'm doing things now that I never would do.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. And you're saying it with a smile. You're saying it with a smile. So give me something something new that you've already gotten into since this pandemic hit.
You know, something new that I've gotten into was, and this might sound crazy to some people out there, but it's thankfulness.
Okay.
Thankfulness.
Okay.
And some people say, well, how can you be thankful? No, you know what? We're demanded to spend time with our family. What?
Right.
Stay home? What?
Yeah.
You know, it's all about how you look. And I started looking at it. I'm like, man, this is a beautiful thing. It just depends on what lens you're going to look through.
Okay.
You know, I do a lot of calls right now to people in my congregation or just people in general that are on my phone list. Just, hey, how you doing? What's up?
Okay.
And I
haven't gotten a call. Garrick, I haven't gotten a call from you, man. I get text messages, but I don't get any calls. So just, you know, before you keep going, so as a pastor,
yes,
you know, I have to give you my lens and my perception, right? A lot of the times, and before I met you, as soon as I knew you were a pastor, I was already having this preconceived notion of what a pastor is and what a pastor, you know, and it's interesting because, you know, some people know the story, some people don't, but when my mom was pregnant, and she was about to have me and expect me, she had a dream. She tells this story all the time, and she dreamed that I was going to be this priest, pastor, just preacher type individual. And for a long time, I just did not understand that. And we kind of dropped it. We left it. But not until she went to one of my assemblies. And you know what I do. And I speak at schools. I speak at businesses with teachers, students, at the gym. And she said, you know, you may not have had the title of a pastor or a priest, but you're doing the work.
That's right.
You know, you're doing the work. You're allowing the message to really to really influence those around you. And that meant a lot to me, you know? So being on this platform with you, as a pastor, I kind of, you know, seeing you as a pastor, it's been a different, you've changed a lot of my perception of what you know, of who you are, but also what I had thought before I even really got to know you. Right. So as a pastor during this time, you say you still struggled or were challenged by fear.
Right.
Okay. And you went straight, like you said, was it day 2, day 3? You said you locked the doors, get the guns.
Yes.
Take them.
Yes.
Okay. So, and people wouldn't see that. You're one of the nicest guys, but you call that fear.
Right.
Okay. And how long did it take you and what did it take for you to like tell yourself, like, I need to knock this out. I need to go back to faith.
Right. Let me see. It took me looking into myself, you know, of what I do. The word pastor for me, and has been for me, is a servant, you know, as an encourager.
Okay.
So you're kind of a pastor.
I'm kind of okay.
Yes,
okay. So it might be Pastor Al pretty soon.
It might be Pastor Al.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I was talking to God the other day. I'm like, did you call me to lead him to be a pastor? Well, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, snap.
We'll talk about episode 7.
Okay, I didn't know that. And by the way, none of this is scripted. We just want to be present.
That's right.
And that is the number one thing when it comes to influence and just this energy, right? Is as a listener or a participant, you know, this is not entertainment. This is simply for us to be present wherever we're at, whether we're in this room sharing a message, or whether we're in our cars or in the gym or taking a walk. Wherever you're listening to this message, allow yourself to just be present. Now, we may say some things that, you know, not everybody's going to agree with. Right. We may say some things that later on evolve into something else. But it's in the present moment that really matters, and we're really just asking for, right? So, in the presence of Garrick, I want to know when you say look at yourself, right? When you said you had to look at yourself,
right?
What does that mean? What is that? Somebody that does it and says it, for somebody that doesn't know, what does it mean to I had to take a look at myself? What does that mean?
What it meant for me was, when I looked at myself, am I living in fear? Am I living in anger? Both of those things do nothing for me. Both of those things do nothing for anybody living in fear and anger, because both of those things don't move you forward.
Okay.
So I was not moving forward. And I'm the type of person that likes to move forward, and I speak into people's lives for them to move forward. And here I wasn't even doing it.
Wow.
And I'm like, why am I not moving forward? First came the fear, and then came the anger. And both of those emotions are not good.
Okay.
They're not good. They don't move you forward. We might think they do, but they don't move us forward. That's one of the things that caught my attention about your character, is I haven't seen fear or anger in you. I see moving forward, you know, and in life, I want to move forward. There was lots of times in my life when I wasn't moving forward. Anger controlled me, or fear controlled me. And when this pandemic came in, I slipped back into fear. And then I got angry at myself, and then I just threw them both aside, took a good look at myself and said, you're not moving forward. So if there's somebody today listening that's sitting in fear or sitting in anger, you can have both emotions at once.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself, am I moving forward? Am I doing any good for myself or people around us? And I think what we got to do to influence others is let them know, you know, hey, let that go, and seek ways you can move forward. You know,
I love it, man.
That's what I like about you. You're a forward guy.
I love it, man. I love it. But in that, you know, there are times where, you know, moving forward just seems, it can be deceiving. It can be deceiving, right? Like by moving forward, when I hear someone tell me moving forward, I really like to ask, like, what I'm big on meanings, and you'll see that I'm going to ask a lot of questions on meanings because, as a listener, and I'm listening here, hearing you talk is there's so many definitions to things, and there's perspectives to things, and in moving forward, I was having a meeting with my team about 3 weeks ago or a month ago. And I was talking about forward movement. I was having a similar conversation. And, I seen everybody, a lot of my teammates, showing their struggle. Now, showing your struggle and struggling to me isn't the same thing, right? Demonstrating, allowing a feeling to become an action is what discipline, like discipline has to come into that, right? Like, but the feeling is okay to feel. It's when it becomes an action that it can become detrimental to those around you, right? Like if you feel anger, for me, it's not about ignoring it and moving forward. It's about understanding how to use it to move forward.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
so it's the fear, it's the anger, because Pastor Gary, I mean, I'm telling you, I have felt angry. I would say frustrated. I don't know if angry is the right word, but feeling frustrated, feeling alone, feeling, fear, just feeling that.
Right.
And really listening to, I've been doing this for a while now, of listening to how to use that to move forward, not ignore it and move forward. Right? Because our minds might move forward, but our character carries it.
I like
that.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Our character, and if you miss that, our character carries those bad habits. We forget, our minds forget. That's called being distracted, right? It's you're angry, and then something good happens, or your favorite Netflix special is on, or someone calls you, and you get distracted. So you believe you move forward, but your character is carrying it, and that's when for me, where it's piled up, where all of a sudden it just becomes your character. Then you paint yourself as someone who has a short fuse, or you paint yourself as someone who is decisive and quick. Like me, I'm like, as soon as I heard about the shutdown, I started moving on things, and I started going and going and going and giving and giving and giving and doing and doing and doing. And I didn't feel like I was doing it. I felt like I was ahead of the game. And I continued to tell myself that I was in this faith. And it was just moments that I would feel the frustration, just moments where I did feel the anger, or the fear. But I was in fear to feel. I wasn't afraid to feel frustrated. I wasn't afraid to feel fear. I wasn't afraid to feel alone, because I practiced how to use that energy, those emotions, because emotion is energy in motion.
That's correct.
And it'll get you moving.
Yes.
Right? It's what moves us internally.
Right.
And learning how to use that as a resource, as a source of energy, you start to begin to understand that as the world shuts down, you're full of resources. You are resourceful.
Right.
As the world shuts down, the more you look in, the more you open yourself up from within, the more you find out these incredible resources that you've been gifted, called emotion. It's just now that we're being forced to use other sources called frustration, called sadness, called, doubt, called, anxiety. All of these different emotions are there. And it's about not avoiding them or ignoring them, at least for me, because if I avoid anxiety, it seems to grow.
Right.
It seems to get louder. It'll wake me up in the middle of the night. without my mind even knowing it. It's because it's not a thought. It's internal. It's wired. So really, how have you put your emotions in check? Like, what have you used when you talk about anger? How did you use anger to move forward? What do you feel what did you do as forward movement?
From anger or fear, the first thing that comes to my mind when I had that on me is I don't have no peace. Where there's fear, where there's anger, there's no peace. And if we really look at life, we want peace in our life. Yeah. I want peace in my life.
Yeah.
And peace doesn't, millions of dollars don't give you peace. You know, big houses and big cars, it make you happy. But what really brings a man to have peace in his life? I think that's one of the big things about what's going on right now is in the pandemic, we're all looking for things to fill it. But what makes it beautiful is we're starting to look at what really gives me peace, you know? And it's funny because I look at things and I see things as, oh, wow, now I can see why that happened because I have this now. For instance, when I ran into you in Sweat, you know, I had,
and this is what a year ago, 2 years ago, 2 years almost?
2 years ago,
2 year anniversary.
2 years ago.
Salud, man. Salud to a 2 year anniversary.
Salud. But it's like I had many blessings. Don't get me wrong, but physically, I didn't have peace with myself.
Okay.
And I'd pray, yeah, well, God, what do you want me to join your gym? And I ran across you, and to look back where I'm at today, my physical abilities I have today that you helped change in my life, I have peace in that area. I ran 8 miles a day. I never do that.
Wow.
I ran 8. I've been today, and this is like a week and a half in. I've been doing 7 to 8 miles a day.
And you pulled your calf.
Yeah, I was doing backwards sprints, but
you were doing backwards sprints. Yeah. How old are you, Pastor Gary?
56.
56 doing backward sprints, man. Come on.
And you showed me that on the treadmill.
No, I didn't. I showed you that. No, man, message influencing change, right? Influencing it for real. So you running now. So we ran into each other.
We ran into each other, and now I look back at it, and it was the missing part of the puzzle in my life to where I have peace today.
Yeah.
And because I ran into you, and when the pandemic came, I looked into running as a out to find my peace. Because not only when you run, you think. Well, when I run, I pray, I listen to worship music or whatever. But I was thinking today, if I hadn't ran into Coach 2 years ago, maybe I wouldn't have the ability to do what I do today.
Oh, wow.
So he lays out these things before us. But the main goal that he wants to give us is peace.
Yeah.
Where do you find your peace? What do you do when you don't have peace? Some people right now don't have peace.
Yeah.
I mean, you can turn on the TV, the news for 2 hours and lose your peace.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
how valuable is peace to you?
Oh, man,
Coach?
It's everything. It's everything. I wouldn't be able to. Peace comes with faith. You know, I think it starts for me is it's what you believe. It's really looking at your belief system. Is really looking at that right now. I guess, and I know when I would hear that, it just seemed like this big thing. Like, the reason I say belief is because faith seems like this large thing that is, it's almost too big. Like, too hard to understand, too confusing to understand. Like, how do you know if it's legit, if it's not legit, right? And I had to exercise peace, but I believe the first time, or when I really knew what peace was, I go back to being a child. I go back to being a kid.
Wow.
Because the lens in which I saw the world, I mean, to be able to imagine, to be able to be in a child's mind, right? Think of yourself as a child, and in your mind, you're having fun. You're imagining, you're playing with whatever, right? You're a dog one day, you're a dinosaur the next day, you're playing tag, you're playing Batman and Spider-Man and Ninja. Like, you're all these characters in your mind.
Right.
Now, it's intense to me and it's beautiful at the same time, because I know that my environment may not have been the healthiest. I wouldn't say the best, the healthiest.
Okay.
Yet I was so present and so at peace that I could let go and I could imagine. I could live in this world of imagination. I mean, think like, for you to have fun when you go anywhere, doesn't it have to be, as an adult, doesn't the environment have to be set up right? Like, there has to be safety, right?
Right.
Like, you can't just go up and dance just in the middle of the wrong neighborhood, right? Because you don't let your guard down. You're not at peace. You're nervous. Right. You're anxious. You're scared. But a kid that can have fun is a kid that isn't scared. So that tells me everything. That's the recipe, is how do I have fun? Not how do I find peace? Because if I am having fun, my being must be at peace. What is fun to me, right? Ooh. Like as an individual, what is fun? Because if a child shows us anything, is when a child is having fun, they're engaged. When they're engaged, they're learning. When they're learning, they're growing. When they're growing, they're evolving. And when they're evolving, change isn't a big deal. When they're evolving, change is inevitable. Right?
Right.
So I personally have used this time to reflect even more so on finding my peace through having fun. Right? Not waiting. Now, there's a difference to me. There's a difference between having fun and being entertained. See, the world right now is not being entertained.
But I think they're having fun.
No, so they were looking for entertainment. But now they're looking and they're starting to find, I believe, fun. You can't just go get distracted anymore. You can't. You can't go get distracted. You can't just go to the bar. You can't just go to the mall. You can't just go to the club. You can't just do these things that we believed were fun, but really were just entertaining. What was fun was the connection. In my personal opinion, it wasn't the place that makes it fun. It was the interaction and connection we had with others while we were presently giving in that time that makes it fun. So I look to have fun, whether it's music, whether it's running, whether it's working out, whether it's writing. I'm writing a book right now, whether it's writing, whether it's, this interaction is fun, right? I'm at peace right now. And that allows me to not only share with others and give to others, but also be able to pause and be grateful. My conversations early with the universe, continuing to have those. And my conversations with, some people say God, universe, energy, vibe, higher power, are fun. They're not always, God, help me with it. Sometimes it's, man, like, I don't get it. Like, help me out a little bit. I'm dumb. I'm not that smart, man. Yeah, I see you're giving me clues. I cannot put this puzzle together. And I laugh like that. Right. Now, believe me, I do this in front of my team. I do this, now alone, but it's where's the fun? Where's the fun? Because, I don't know about you. I didn't grow up with cable. I didn't grow up, with a bunch of snacks in my house. I didn't grow up having outlets of entertainment. I grew up with the one rule. You're either outside or you're inside. Either have to play outside or you're coming inside. You can't be coming in and out though.
All right.
So if I chose outside, man, I would just find things to do. You know? And I think the poorness of not having much, and I think when you don't have much, your mind creates and develops, right?
Yes.
And that's where I'm at, man. I'm having, I know, and I don't want to sound like I'm being ignorant. I don't want to sound like I'm not being mindful of the pain that is really happening right now. Right? Because I am aware, and I am, I do have teams that are gathering and constantly giving, and I put together resources for people. So when I'm at peace, it's my fun, but it's also the giving and being in position to give, right? Because right now we are in a world of take, in a world of keep, in a world of save up, keep, don't. Let's go see if there's some, grab all, take all. It's the all, right? Take all, grab all, keep all. And I'm constantly searching for avenues to just give, because that's the most difficult part of this whole thing, is when your mind and everyone else is telling you to give. I believe a lot of the suffering comes because we're givers. We were created to give.
That's right.
And the world's telling you to keep.
Right.
And I think that's why we at times could feel suffocated, is because if you were built, I mean, think about it for a second. It's hitting me. Think about it. If we were built, if you're saying a shovel is built to dig and you're attempting to hammer in a nail with it, there's going to be some struggles. It's going to suck.
Right.
Now, if we were built to give and we're being told to keep, if we're being told to take, when people tell me that, everyone's lost right now and everyone's confused, that's why we're confused, is because we are built, we're tools, we're vehicles to give, and we're being told to take. That's why I feel we're confused.
Wow. You sound like a pastor right now.
Get me going, man. But I mean, this is not, to me, it's that. It's, man, a fish, tell a fish to fly and tell an eagle to swim. They'd be confused too. And that's what everybody looks like right now, is a bunch of fish attempting to fly because they're telling us to. We're going the opposite way, and I get it. I get the safety. And I'm not attempting to influence anybody and go against the measures, and against the policies. But as soon as they say take and keep, our minds say that, but our beings want to give.
Right.
Our beings just want to. They just want to give. It's finding ways to give, man.
Yeah, that's one thing that caught my attention when this first came down, the pandemic. I talked to you, I don't know if it was by phone or face-to-face, and you're like, I got to find out ways to give.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that put a light bulb in my head to want to give more. Yeah. Where can I give?
Yeah.
Where can I give? And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that song, Being Broke Made Me Rich?
I have not, but we will look it up. We're looking it up right now in a second, and we're going to play it.
It's a Christian rap song, but it's called...
Oh, most definitely never heard it then. I'm sorry, but I don't have any records, any songs in my playlist. I need to get my game up on this rap you said. But let's do this, man. Let's continue this conversation of giving and finding ways to find peace. I think that's what we really, let people know right now. We're gonna have to continue this until the second episode, though. Okay. The second episode, sounds part good. 2. Thank you all for listening.
Yes.
Let's call it, man. Thank you. Thank you.